The Corsa has been a key part of Vauxhall's lineup for a long time now. Ever since the iconic Nova arrived in the early 80s, it's provided affordable transportation for the masses. But in more recent times, it has evolved to become a more electrified option in Vauxhall's range. And it's a key part of Vauxhall's strategy to offer an electric version of every car that it has by 2024. Part of that acceleration comes with a change to the Corsa Electric. We've got a bigger battery with more range as a result, a clever new interior and a brand new look. So, can this EV deliver in all the areas that matter? That's what we're going to be finding out today.
Vauxhall has given the Corsa a far more futuristic look than before, and all of that is down to the inclusion of the new visor front grille. Now, it's far more smoothed off than you would have found on the old Corsa Electric, and not only does that help aerodynamics, but it gives the car a more distinctive look overall. It's a little bit more similar to its predecessor around the back, however, although you'll find some updated badging, which helps to just brighten things up a little bit.
Vauxhall has worked really hard to lift the overall sense of quality inside the Corsa Electric, and that's why on this admittedly top spec model you've got features like a leather-lined steering wheel and Alcantara trim for the seats. However, all cars get this cool 10-inch central touchscreen which has loads of features and Android Auto and Apple CarPlay connectivity. I also like the fact that you've got nice chunky controls for heating and ventilation down here, and this newly designed gear selector frees up a little extra space in the middle of the cabin. I just wish there wasn't, as I keep saying, quite so much shiny black plastic, because it just doesn't feel all that good, and also just collects all the fingerprints and all the dust that's in the front of the car. As a relatively compact car, it'll probably come as no surprise that there's not a huge amount of space to play with in the back of the Corsa. The front seat is in my position. I'm about 5'11". As you can see, my knees are right up against the seat, but I have got a nice cutout section to free up a little bit of space, and I have got room for my feet to get underneath. One thing that is the problem with multi-powertrain platforms, because this car is available with petrol and hybrid and electric, is that it still has a transmission tunnel, despite this being an electric version. So that person in the middle is still going to be quite squashed in. However, you do get ISOFIX points at either side, and the general fit and finish is good with two USB-C sockets in the middle, and that's far more charging capability than we've seen on far more expensive cars. Most EVs do bring a slight penalty when it comes to boot space, and sadly the Corsa Electric is no different. There are 267 litres of boot space there, and that's less than the 309 litres that you get in the regular petrol version. There's also no dedicated underfloor storage area for the charging cables, so they're going to have to stay in that bag and eat into that boot space further. It would be nice to have a specific section in which to store those cables, but as is the case with the platform, this just isn't. It is a nice deep and square load area though, although you're going to have to put those heavier items up and over, which means that you might clang into this freshly painted surface. So you're going to have to watch out for that with those big items. The big news with this new Corsa Electric is a bigger battery, and with a bigger battery comes a longer range. It goes up to 246 miles from 222 miles in the previous car. Now, it's not a huge increase, but any increase in range is a good increase for electric cars. We like having more range, we like to go further between trips to the plug. You've also got 100 kilowatt charging capacity, and that means you could charge from 0 to 80% in around half an hour if you connected to a 100 kilowatt charger. Remember, it's all about the rating. If it's rated to 100 kilowatts, the maximum it can take is 100 kilowatts. If you plug it into a 350 kilowatt charger, the best you're going to get is 100 kilowatts. So always remember that when you're looking at electric vehicles. But what is the driving experience like otherwise? Well, performance-wise, we've got just over 150 brake horsepower, and that equates to a 0 to 60 mile an hour time of 8 seconds. So it's actually quite brisk, really. There are 3 different driving modes. You've got Eco, Normal, and Sport. Sport obviously being the, well, sportiest. And in Eco mode, you're getting slightly less power in order to maximise the amount of range that you're getting. Interestingly, all of the main headline figures, that main range, is generated through testing done in normal mode, so it's not like you have to put it in Eco to get the best possible range. What's the driving experience like? Well, there's quite a lot of noise coming into the cabin of the Corsa Electric. We're getting lots of road noise and quite a bit of wind noise too. You can also hear the electric motor whirring away underneath you, and it's this slightly high-pitched thing that when you accelerate becomes more noticeable, and particularly when you're doing slower speeds you can really hear it. So it's not the quietest cabin, but it is comfortable. These seats are nice and well padded, and it feels like Vauxhall has tried to aim between a compromise of ride quality and also body control, because obviously you can make a car really, really soft and squidgy, but it might lollop here, there and everywhere. You don't tend to find that in the Corsa. At slower speeds, the ride is actually quite firm, and that's probably a result of this top spec car riding on big wheels. But that just means that when you are going over potholes or rough surfaces, the Corsa feels a little bit frosty. It's like it's not quite settled. But when you are up to speed, it's really nice and composed. Although when you're going over some big crests or some counter camber sections, it can sometimes just get a little bit out of shape as it tries to manage its own weight. However, the steering is nice and accurate, and at slower speeds it's light enough to make this car really easy to pilot around town. Of course, with the compact body style comes an ease of use when you're parking or going into multi-storey centres. You're not going to have too much trouble positioning this vehicle, and it's going to feel pretty zippy away from the line thanks to that immediate delivery of torque that you only get with an electric motor. And thankfully, because the battery size hasn't increased too much, in fact it's just gone from 50 kilowatt hour to 51 kilowatt hour, it's all been achieved through density of the batteries. So there's not any more extra weight really, and it's not like the big battery SUVs that we're seeing tipping the scales well close to 3 tons. This is far lighter, and as a result it feels far more nimble to drive, and it will be more efficient over long journeys because it's simply got less weight to drag along. In terms of a full charger, a home charger, a 7 kilowatt, it's going to be an overnight job, but that's pretty much the case with all electric vehicles. It's just handy that you have that 100 kilowatt charging capacity on the Corsa Electric, because it means that you can access those rapid chargers when you're doing longer distances and you don't have to wait around charging too long. There's also a dedicated B mode underneath the gears, and pressing that activates the highest level of regenerative braking. So when you let off the throttle, the car really starts to slow itself down without you touching the brakes. One thing that I feel is a real strong point with this car is the seating position. You can get it really nice and low. It makes it all feel quite natural, and it also gives that sensation of sitting in the car rather than on the car, which you can sometimes find with electric vehicles as you're having to sit above the batteries. I also like that we've got a nice thin rimmed steering wheel to work with, and it's not overly cluttered with controls. You've got ones for the media and for your volume and for your cruise control on the left hand side, but they're all physical, well damped buttons. There's no haptic feedback going on here, so using them on the move is much easier. However, visibility is excellent, big front screen, nice large rear window too, and over the shoulder, well, it's quite a chunky pillar, but overall I'd say that the visibility is about what you expect from a car of this size. Vauxhall has made changes in all the key areas that you'd want them to be made with the new Corsa Electric. The bigger battery means a longer range, and that extends the use case for this car beyond just cities and far further afield than before. But I also like the fact that the amount of tech inside has been increased and delivered across the range rather than just with the headline top spec version. I also like the tweaked exterior design, which just gives it a little bit more impact than before. Obviously, top spec models do come with that slightly heavy, close to 40 grand headline figure, but since the vast majority of people do finance these cars, they make far more sense on the monthly payments than they would do with that one big cash chunk. Thank you for watching this Motors new car review on the Vauxhall Corsa Electric. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, leave us a like below, and in the comment section you can let us know what you think of this latest EV. Would you pick this one, or would you be going for the regular petrol instead? And since you're here, please subscribe to the Motors YouTube channel, and if you click on that bell icon, you'll get a notification directly to your inbox each time we upload a new video.